Welcome to Good Day Chicago in our 9 o'clock hour, everyone. Here's a look at some of the things that we're following for you this morning.
A lot happened overseas last night while you were sleeping. We're going to break down the latest from Greenland and the new peace port deal that was signed earlier this morning.
We are peeling back the curtain for a behind-the-scenes look at Salome at the Lyric Opera with renowned soprano Gabriela Primus.
Yeah, Oscar nominations are in, and there is a lot to discuss here, too. So, you know, we got to bring in Jake to the discussion, breaking down some of the records that were broken and some of the notable snubs. There's always, somebody always gets snubbed, you know?
Yeah, every single year.
Part of the day.
The appeal of the program,
you know,
right?
Yeah.
All right, across the country and right here at home, people are bracing for quite a bit of winter weather. How'd you like to go shopping there? That is inside a Publix grocery store in Nashville. Cleaned out. I mean, is there some chewing gum even left over there?
You know they don't know how to deal with cold weather.
No.
Anything below 50.
People are not going to be able to get out for days in parts of the South and Middle Tennessee, like much of the South, expected to get that mixture of freezing rain and quite a bit of snow. It's the ice, though, that is always the worst.
Always. They're just not prepared for it. No. We're getting ready to deliver their own weather as we take a live look outside, checking in with Caitlin. That temperature is going south and going south fast.
Yes, we have the brutally, dangerously cold temperatures on the way, especially tonight into tomorrow. Right now, though, it's chilly. Don't get me wrong. Temperatures are in the teens right now. It's 18 at the lakefront as well as Midway, 16 at O'Hare, 13 in Waukegan. It is quite beautiful, though. Partly cloudy skies turning over to mostly cloudy conditions later on this afternoon, and that's when we have the chance for some light snow around. Here's your next 12 hours. Temperatures peaking in the low to mid-20s today. But then tonight, that's when we really start to tumble. So talking about how cold it will be early tomorrow from 3 a.m. Friday morning until noon, we have the potential for those wind chills to bottom out around 30 to 35 degrees below zero. And that's why this extreme cold warning is now in effect for Chicago points west. All of us, though, are going to be dangerously cold, including Northwest Indiana. Here's your 7-day forecast. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon may only be reaching around 1 degree below zero. We may not even hit zero tomorrow afternoon. It is going to be cold all day long, even into Friday night. And then Saturday, 10 as our high. So a chilly weekend ahead. We also have the potential for snow returning Saturday afternoon, Saturday night into Sunday. We have some snow around. So we are going to see potential for travel impacts, not only because of the cold tonight into early tomorrow. We encourage you to stay home, but then this weekend, we have that chance for snow. Heading into early next week, 16 degrees Monday, Tuesday, right around 24, 21 on Wednesday. So you can see we are going to be staying below freezing even into the middle of next week. So make sure you prepare for tonight into early tomorrow. Check in on your schools, by the way, school districts, see if there's delays or even closings tomorrow for maybe school at home. Back to you.
Yeah, we have a full list on our website, fox32chicago.com, of all of the school delays and the closures for tomorrow.
Lots of e-learning notifications.
Yeah, now that they've figured that out. And you know what? My driver this morning was excited about the cold. He was like, everybody needs a ride right now. That is true. Yeah, somebody always benefits from whatever's going on. You know, these last few weeks are definitely reminding us that winter is in full swing.
There's already some snow left over, and now some of you are digging through even more.
Roseanne is joining us. She is live and bundled up as we prepare for this next big cold snap. And Roseanne, this is going to be the coldest air this winter. Are you still in my hometown?
I am, and it's pretty as a picture, Mike Kaplan. There are a lot of snow-covered roofs and snow-covered trees, but there's also a lot of snow on the ground, and it's been there for days. And so people say they've been very busy, the people we talk to. They have been plowing on Grand Avenue. They were out very early clearing the roads of about 2 new inches of snow. And on Acorn Court, people were shoveling in the dark. They were clearing their driveways and sidewalks, making sure they got the job done in time. Now, the Chicago area has had snow 9 days in a row. And for the people out here, it meant another snowy walk to the school bus stop. And then next up comes that extreme cold we've been talking about. Some people say, enough already.
I hate it. Yeah, I do. At my age, I should be in Florida.
How are you preparing for tomorrow?
Oh, man. Yeah, and tomorrow. I'm preparing to stay in.
Good.
The heat.
Got boots and PJs, right? So you come right out and just start shoveling.
What are the special precautions you might be taking for tomorrow, where it's going to be maybe -40 with the wind chill, up to in the 30s?
Try to call off work. No.
So we also talked to a mom who said that her kids are going to be e-learning tomorrow, and she is going to follow their lead and work from home, which is the wise choice for everybody heading into this bitterly cold weather, if you can get away with it. Now, Jimmy, I think, has to go in to the office, especially after that interview.
Especially
Back to
after
you
he
guys
told
in the
his boss
studio.
what he's getting ready to do on national, TV.
He doesn't want to wear pajamas for the rest of his career.
I see, right?
Thanks, Ro.
All right, well, an independent agency is investigating after Aurora police shot and killed an armed man.
Yeah, and officers were called to the intersection of South Broadway and North Avenue around 12:30 Wednesday afternoon about this. Okay, so when they got there, the man had barricaded himself inside an apartment with a knife. Investigators say things escalated when officers confronted him, and that's when they opened fire. We'll continue to follow up as we get more information about that, but Chicago police are also searching for a missing 16-year-old girl. The family of Layla Underwood is offering a reward for her safe return. So please take a good look at her picture. Layla was last seen in Austin on West Cortez Street, a few blocks north of Ronald E. McNair Elementary. She was wearing a black jacket and black Crocs at the time. Call Chicago police if you have any information.
The state of Illinois is investigating an ICE raid that happened in a South Shore apartment building on September 30th. Armed federal agents repelled from Black Hawk military helicopters and stormed all 130 units. Now the state is looking into whether the landlords tipped off federal agents in an attempt to possibly intimidate and remove Black and Hispanic tenants. Our Saquon will join us with a live report later this hour to break down where things stand now.
And all of those people had to move out of that building after that. So finding the people to interview them will be a task.
Today, we're expecting closing arguments in the trial of a man accused of a murder-for-hire plot targeting Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino. Prosecutors say Juan Espinoza Martinez sent out a bounty for Bovino on Snapchat. Martinez says he's not guilty. If convicted, he could face up to 10 years in prison. The president says there's a framework for a deal on Greenland, though there are no concrete details right now.
And President Trump says he's been talking with the head of NATO, and he even dropped his tariff threat against Europe. Denmark says that the U.S. will not own Greenland, and NATO says it does not have the power to transfer territory between its members. President, though, did sign a deal this morning to create his peace board with several different countries.
Everybody wants to be a part of it, and we'll work with many others, including the United Nations.
The Peace Board deal follows a meeting with European leaders in Brussels this morning surrounding transatlantic relations. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Hungary, and Belarus signed on to Trump's deal. However, other countries like Russia, China, the UK, Canada, and France said no. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin just returned from a trip to Denmark. He's going to be part of a roundtable later this morning at the Chicago Council on Global Affairs. Durbin was part of a bipartisan group of lawmakers who are trying to bring down some of the tensions over Greenland. And this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson and the Chicago Public Library, they are opening a library-based food access program.
It's a full-service food pantry at the Legler Regional Library, created through a partnership with the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
The need is great, and the timing is really important for this, too. A press conference is getting ready to get underway here. You can see them kind of talking to people in the room. That's Chris Brown, the commissioner. Let's go ahead and listen into him.
Thank you for all being here, and thank you, President Johnson Rice, for your over 10 years of service to our Chicago Public Library Board. 12. She's counting, yes. Thank you. And really, thank you to all of our partners, our staff, our city leaders, Alderman Irvin, and members of this community who are here to celebrate this creative partnership with a civic institution to figure out how to better feed our Chicagoans. At the Chicago Public Library, we think a lot about how our buildings serve people every day. We offer over 1.9 million square feet of city neighborhood space. Libraries are inclusive spaces where all voices belong on our shelves and all people are welcome in our doors. but we're also trusted spaces for reading, learning, creativity, and connection, where people can access support that not only strengthens their opportunity, but also their health and their wellness. The Legler Regional Library shows how these roles can come together in one place. As our president of our board mentioned, we now support food access alongside mental health care. Thank you, Mayor Brandon Johnson, for that. An artist residence program. Ken Cook, thank you for being our artist in residence. Youth programming, creative spaces, a digital navigator and teacher in the library provided by our Library Foundation. Thank you, President Brendan Langstrap-Bowie and team. And as was mentioned, our weather, we are a cooling and warming center, very important in Chicago. When these services live together in a trusted space, access becomes easier and our barriers are removed, which matters so much in a neighborhood and on the West Side where food services can prove challenging at times. Families can now take care of multiple needs in one visit, learning and food.
All right, so again,
equity.
that is Commissioner Brown there as they announce this teamwork, really, to bring more access to food to people in especially the western portion of our viewing area here in Chicago. And as they open up a food pantry for library access, he's kind of going over the many different things that they're doing in terms of helping people with mental health and with cooling and heating and things of that nature as well. They are all encompassing, and we appreciate what they do. The Library-Based Access Food Program was created with the partnership of the city and the Greater Chicago Food Depository, and it's all in an effort to fight food insecurity on the west side of the city, as I was saying.
Well, we got some big news this morning for Bears head coach Ben Johnson. He is officially a nominee for the Associated Press Head Coach of the Year.
Yeah, Johnson made the short list with 4 other coaches. Liam Cohen with the Jaguars, Mike McDonald with the Seahawks, probably a front runner there along with this next guy, Mike Vrabel, and then 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan. Ben Johnson, look, he had an exceptional year. This is his first year as a head coach.
That's the biggie.
11-6 record plus that playoff win over the Packers. He also helped get the best out of number 18, Caleb Williams. The winners are going to be announced 2 weeks from today on February 5th.
Yeah, I think everybody on that list, you know, is
deserving,
amazing.
yeah,
But to get it, even be nominated amongst those guys in your first year,
Liam
that's
Cohen as well.
tremendous.
That's
Yeah.
right, yeah.
His first year down in Jacksonville.
All right, speaking of the Bears, a big vote that could lure them to the new home of football. Indiana is expected to happen today.
Will they be the Gare Bears? We'll tell you what they are voting on and the other questions the Bears are facing surrounding their future just ahead. It's 9:12.
I'm attorney Chris Cooper. When you're
9:15 as I give you this live look outside at the few faithful who have gone out to get their pictures in the freezing cold at the Bean. Epic pictures when you're able to take it alone, but boy, hope you are all bundled up. You know, if you have plans to fly south while they're anticipating snow and ice, you'll have a chance to make a change.
Yeah, the major airlines are going to let you change without a fee or give you a voucher. Major winter storm is going to hit from Texas all the way to Virginia and adjoining states. Some places, like Atlanta, could get an inch of ice. That would be abject disaster. So United, American, Delta, and Southwest all say the changes apply to flights between Friday and Sunday, and this will take many days to recover from that domino effect of whatever happens out there. Computer trains around here are making changes because of the ridiculous cold on the way. Metra will operate reduced schedule tomorrow. When it gets as cold as we expect, there's all kinds of track trouble. You know, people see the fire there. This is to keep the switches from freezing up. You know, we know a lot of people aren't even going to bother to get out, and that's not a bad choice if you can get away with it. The South Shore Line also operating a reduced schedule. That starts tomorrow.
City of Chicago is banning hemp sales. Retailers will have until April to comply. This ordinance bans hemp-derived weed products like Delta 8 and 9, but it does not include hemp beverages or topical creams. The ordinance also bans sales to people 21 and under. The City Council was also expected to vote on a teen curfew, but a substitute proposal was introduced late in the 11th hour, forcing the vote to the next council meeting.
Today, an Indiana committee is expected to vote on a measure designed to lure the Chicago Bears across the state lines. The measure would create a Northwest Indiana Stadium Authority, which would be responsible for acquiring, financing, because that's a big part of all of this, and leasing land for a stadium. If it passes the Senate Appropriations Committee, it goes to the floor for a full vote. Of course, we will be watching that very closely. But, you know, after a season defined by resilience, belief, good, better, best, comeback magic, the Cardiac Bears face some real questions as they try to make another playoff run for 2026.
Yeah, yesterday Ben Johnson was saying we're starting right back at the bottom all over again. Our Cassie Carlson has more on the rest of Coach Johnson's message.
3 days after the Bears season ending, Ben Johnson reiterated his post-game message that it's really tough to get to where the Bears were this season, and it's going to be even harder to get back there next year.
There is no building off of this. We go back to square one. We're back at the bottom again, and that's really all 32 teams. If you feel otherwise, you're probably missing the big picture.
We can't be complacent. We got to keep pushing forward. We both come from organizations that have stacked success back-to-back years, and we know the challenge that comes with having success and then trying to get back to that the following year.
One thing they found is their quarterback. Caleb Williams left the Bears and their fan base with plenty of memories. And inside Hallis Hall, Ben Johnson felt like he grew up as a player and professional.
I'm really encouraged about the steps he took this year. I'm Caleb Williams' #1 believer.
Just his pocket presence, his ability to escape. I think that's a rare trait that he has. You saw that come alive.
Ryan Poles reiterated the goals of the franchise to be a championship caliber team. And while they fell short of it this year, both he and Ben Johnson recognized how they reignited a fan base desperate for a winning Bears team.
I had family members flying in O'Hare texting me saying, I've never seen anything like this in terms of the amount of pride that our fans had wearing their Bears gear, pumped up about the upcoming game. We felt that, and that's part of a job that we don't talk about a lot. It's just inspiring our fan base, inspiring the community.
I'm really excited about seeing this city, this fan base come to life. These last 2 games, I'll never forget.
In terms of injuries, Ryan Poles said Jalen Johnson suffered a minor wrist injury in the final game that won't need surgery. Ozzie Chiprolo and Noah Sewell both underwent surgery for their season-ending injuries and don't have a timeline to return. At Hallis Hall, Cassie Carlson, Fox Chicago Sports.
Well, we're still kind of recovering from the Rams beating the Bears. Rams maybe they had a secret to beating the cold. They were putting cayenne pepper in their socks to stay warm. I had never heard of this before. NFL staff writers showed this picture of this orange-tinted socks from the locker room. Apparently, cayenne pepper can increase blood flow on your bare skin.
I'm just glad we know that's cayenne pepper now, because I didn't know what that was when it first showed up. I was like, what is this, and why are you ruining my breakfast this morning?
Oh, good.
All right, speaking of the Bears, we want to remind you that the Chicago Bears are hosting their 37th annual coat drive.
Yes, the Bears, along with Jewel Osco, the Salvation Army, and Sherway Movers, they're asking for your coat donations. Just drop them off at participating Jewel Osco stores now through February 16th. You can find more information online at chicagobears.com/coat drive. 9:20, back with a culinary preview.
Fox 30.
It's kind of pretty out there. It's cold. Not as cold as it's going to be tomorrow, though. 24 hours from now, it is going to be absolutely miserable out there. You can see all the salt that is on the streets. My car is absolutely caked with sodium chloride, but that's a good thing. It's preventing that on the roadways. It's preventing slippery conditions from happening. So here's the deal. We got trouble ahead in Weatherland. Dangerous wind chills are on the way late tonight through Saturday morning. The worst of it will be tomorrow morning, when I think wind chills could be 35 below zero. Accumulating snow is looking increasingly likely this weekend, most likely Saturday afternoon through Sunday. Right now, sunny at O'Hare, 16. Enough of a west-southwest wind to create a wind chill of 3 above zero. I think it'll be about 30 to 35 degrees colder than that tomorrow at this time. 13 at Woodstock and Waukegan, 17 at Aurora. Morris and Joliet, you're at least in the low 20s now. 18 at Chicago Heights and Maryville, 19 Michigan City and in Gary. Winds currently gusting most places between about 10 and 20. Midway, one of the stronger wind gusts. Also Valparaiso, Michigan City and Benton Harbor. Wind coming off the lake. You don't get friction there. The wind chill feels like 1 below at Woodstock, 5 above at Midway, Chicago Heights, and Gary. Here is the extreme cold warning. All the counties in blue on the Illinois side, this is where the wind chills between 3 a.m. and noon could be 35 degrees below zero. In Northwest Indiana, you've got a cold weather advisory. Here's the deal. There is very little difference in how it is going to feel whether you're standing in Valparaiso or whether you're standing in Volo tomorrow. Any time outside is going to be miserable and downright dangerous if you don't cover everything up. What about snow? We've been talking about the possibility of a couple of snow showers sneaking in here late this afternoon into the evening hours. Here's 4:30 until about 8. Not much, not as much as even we saw yesterday. That gets out of here. There will be some lake effect on the eastern shore tomorrow, while sunshine on a brutally cold day dominates the skyscape in Illinois. Here's lake effect, though, starting to shift west on Saturday. And this could be the sign of the approaching storm system, which I believe will bring snow to most of, if not all of Chicagoland throughout much of the weekend. 24 today. This is the warmest day in the whole forecast period. Partly sunny, windy, and cold. Tonight, we get a couple evening snow showers, and then it turns frigid. 8 below, northwest winds 15 to 30. That's when we get these 30 or worse below zero wind chills. A high of 0 tomorrow, and then sticking snow Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures stay way below normal, even into the middle part of next week. I've got a photo for you. It's a pretty one here. This is from George Tamalunas, giving us a sunset over Valparaiso. Looks like maybe a little pond there in the foreground, definitely ice covered. So it's kind of a messy situation there, and you're going to get a little more snow, George. We appreciate that. And we are getting some breaking news right now. Take a look at this scene. We're following a water main break. This is near Bryn Mawr in California. Sky Fox is giving us a live look. Crews are obviously starting to work on the pipes there. And, of course, water that's coming out of the ground, spilling onto the pavement, that's immediately turning into a skating rink. So be careful in that area. Again, this is Bryn Mawr and California. 9:26 right now. We'll be right back after this.
Stream Good Day Chicago.
Back at 9:28 right now, and the state has opened an investigation into the landlords of an apartment building where ICE carried out one of its first raids in the city.
Our reporter Saquon is live in South Shore with more details. Good morning, Say.
Good morning to you guys. Well, we know that ICE raid ended with at least 37 people getting arrested, although still it's unclear at this point whether any of those people were charged or deported. But according to the Department of Homeland Security, this was an operation that targeted people believed to be involved in drug trafficking and distribution, weapons crimes, and immigration violations. That raid happened on September 30th when armed federal agents rappelled from Black Hawk military helicopters and stormed into each of the 130 units. Information from the newly filed housing discrimination charge actually back up tenants' claims of agents dragging them and their children outside, separating them based on their race, ancestry, and national origin, and leaving them zip-tied for hours outside the building. It also alleges that when tenants were allowed back in the building, their doors were knocked down, and the people who work for the management company started putting tenants' belongings in the trash and clearing out units. As part of this investigation, the state is now trying to find out whether these landlords tipped off federal agents about Venezuelan immigrants living here to intimidate and remove Black and Hispanic tenants from this building. Governor Pritzker released a statement saying, in part, state law prohibits discrimination, and that includes aiding or abetting conduct intended to interfere with housing and civil rights. In another statement, the Illinois Department of Human Rights director says every person in our state is entitled to freedom from housing discrimination and to the protection of their dignity, rights, and personal safety. When actions by any entity undermine those protections, the state has a responsibility to examine them in the interest of public welfare, accountability, and equal justice. Also, as part of this investigation, we know that the Department of Human Rights will start contacting and interviewing relevant witnesses. We have also reached out to the aldermen and, of course, the people living in this area for more information. We have not yet heard back. Guys.
All right, we've got to stay on top of it. A lot of people were affected by that. Thank you. Norma Desmond would have fought tooth and nail and just to be in the show. But thankfully, you don't have to fight or sing even to be in the audience.
Salome opens as a lyric opera this weekend. Gabriella is joining us live with a behind-the-scenes look at this production. Good morning, Gabriella.
Good morning, guys. And it is truly behind the scenes because we've all sat in the auditorium of the Lyric Opera, or maybe you haven't. No, it is absolutely gorgeous. But today we're behind the scenes before dress rehearsal that happens today. So it's very lively. The finishing touches are being put on. I'm with Emily Piercy. You are the Revival choreographer here with Salome. All right, this production, very complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, but also with the choreography, the dances really tell a story, don't they?
Yes, yes. So there's a big dance in this production. It's the Dance of the Seven Veils, which is a very famous dance. But in this production, we've got the Dance of the Seven Walls. So the walls on stage move.
Wow.
And it's the singers dance through the walls, and they tell a story about what's happened to Salome throughout her childhood up to being a young woman.
So there's no, spoken word. Of course, there's singing that goes along with it, but how are you able to, tell a story, going from room to room, time it right,
yeah,
and still get the point across, and still have the dancers, walking by the end of it?
Yes. So with singers, obviously, it's a whole new thing for them because obviously they're used to singing, how to use the voice, but how to use the body to tell a story is something else. So we do a lot of rehearsal, we do a lot of practice of how to make those moves happen. A lot of time is spent with the singers, teaching them how to use their bodies in that way.
Hence the reason you have the actual dress rehearsal today at 1 o'clock, but
Absolutely.
you have a pre-rehearsal too, because you're very busy, Emily.
Yes.
Yeah, that is interesting that you have to kind of retrain maybe a singer to also be a dancer, use the same kind of, that's what takes a lot of strength.
It does. It takes a lot of strength, a lot of concentration. There's a great big waltz that happens in the middle of the show where they're dancing all across the stage. They're learning lots of choreography. So for them, it's a real challenge, but it's great. It's beautiful. When it happens, it's beautiful.
I love the different accents that I'm hearing, with the interviews. You, Julia, the Revival director, too. This is the first time it's coming to the United States, this production.
Yes.
Here in Chicago.
Yes, yes. I've been with the production since the beginning, back in London in 2008, and this is the first time out of London.
Okay, you can watch Salome here at the Lyric Opera starting on Sunday, January 25th until February 14th, Valentine's Day. How exciting. And yeah, it's very lively. You can see the excitement building up, the finishing touches being put up. Well, more information about the production on our website, fox32chicago.com. I already have taken my seat, Mike, and I can pick one out for you in the auditorium for the opening night.
Well, Gabrielle, I thought you were going to give us a little bit of your mezzo-soprano work that has made you famous.
Let me practice. Let me practice a little bit later.
You're not quite ready for the Richard Strauss opera yet. That's fine, Gabby. Good report there. All right, the village of Lombard is getting ready to kick off its first ever restaurant week. Joining us this morning is Nicole School. She is from one of the neighborhood favorites there, Gia Mia. Nicole, welcome. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Hi, Mike.
What is it like being one of the inaugural restaurants there for Lombard's Restaurant Week?
We are so honored right now to be representing the village of Lombard for Restaurant Week here at Gia Mia. We have some great dishes to be showing you, and we have this year we are featuring a 3-course prefix meal for Restaurant Week that is going to be $29.99. We here are showing a couple of our options. Our first course here is going to be our Grills Romaine salad. It's served with a gorgonzola dolce, tomatoes, bacon with crispy leeks with our house-made creamy Parmesan dressing.
Looks good.
For one of our options on our second course is going to be our gnocchi with lemon ricotta. It's whipped ricotta with lemon zest with roasted tomato sauce, and the gnocchi is pillow perfect. It's just buttery in your mouth.
I like that. Pillow perfect, Nicole. All right, what's that here to the left?
And the last one here. Yes, and that's going to be our Mediterranean whitefish. That is going to be the final course, or one of the options for our final course. And it's going to be a lemon butter garlic sauce with roasted potatoes and capers and olives. Great way to finish your
I like
meal.
the fact that you've gone with the full-size capers on that. That looks absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
I see a pizza there. I know that you guys, I've already looked at a couple of your pizzas. I think one of them is called a Bruno, and then there's another one that's got, oh gosh, it's got some hot honey on it. What do you have right there?
Oh, yes. That here is our traditional margarita pizza. It's actually our most popular pizza that we have, and we're really well known for. So we have our wood fires. You can see right behind us. He's working on it, and we do our wood fire pizzas with our homemade dough, homemade mozzarella. So it's everything in there is fresh ingredients, and we take a lot of love and pride in our pizzas that we make here.
Oh boy, I love the look of that crust there. Tell us about the farm to fork concept that you are stressing there at Gia Mia.
So we pride ourselves on having fresh ingredients every day. That is what we love. We love to cook, and we love to have people in our home that we get to serve our guests just as we do in our houses. So our farm to fork is our true pride and joy of our food, and we bring it to life, as you can see in our other dishes here. We have great lunch specials that are for $14 every single day. This is one of our lunch specials, and as you can see, it comes with a half salad and a sandwich, or you could do a half salad and pizza, half salad and pasta, something that we love to showcase. Our Pacari Vodka is one of our pastas that you can get as well.
That sandwich looks like it weighs 80 pounds. That looks fantastic, Nicole. Wow, what's in there?
Yeah, that's our Wise Guy. It's delicious. This is our Wise Guy. It has soppressata in there with pepperoni and then fresh provolone, and then it's cooked actually in our wood fire oven right over here.
Well, I think you got soppressata on one of the pizzas that I want. So that looks good. And then tell again, what is the dish right by your left hand there in the bluish bowl? What's in there?
Right here. This is our Pacari Vodka. Yes, so that's with our Italian sausage, and then we take our prosciutto, and then we just have that with a nice little char on there with and this is our large rigatoni noodles.
All right, Nicole, folks want more information about Gia Mia. What can they do to get it? What's your website? And quickly, what are your hours there in Lombard?
Yes, so we are at giammiapizzabar.com. We are a part of BG Hospitality, and our hours here are Sunday through Thursday from 11 to 9, and then Friday and Saturday from 11 to 10.
All right, don't let Ed, our photographer, leave without bringing all of that food back here to the station. Nicole, thanks for being on with us this morning, and thank your staff there for putting on a beautiful display of food for us to enjoy.
Thank you.
All righty.
Have a great day.
You too. Coming up at 9:39, there's that information about Lombard's Restaurant Week. It starts on the 23rd and runs through Feb 1. We'll be right back after this.
At Postman Law, we fight.
(9:42), the last segment we were talking about dining. Now let's talk about dating. Navigating the dating scene can be rough, everybody. We know it has its highs, it has its lows. And if 2026 is a new year, new relationship kind of feel for you, you're feeling good, you're ready to get out there. All right, we've got an expert to make things a little bit easier for you with some tips to keep in mind. April Davis with Loomis Luxury Matchmaking is here. Thank you so much for coming in on a cold, cold day.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, when it is cold, people like to cuddle up a little or find someone to cuddle up with.
Definitely.
So let's talk about this. We're going to jump right into a new report from Tinder. As they were looking back on 2025, they talked about this trend of hot take dating.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
People are just getting into it. They're putting their values out there and they're letting each other know what they want and what they're looking for. So maybe if somebody doesn't want to date somebody of a certain political affiliation, they are letting people know up front and they're asking, okay, where do you stand on these things?
Don't waste time.
Exactly. They're just jumping right in.
I like it. I like it. When I thought hot take, I'm like, you know, like as an auntie to the 20-year-old girls, I'd be like, you know what? Date the nerds.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like they look a little funny right now. They'll grow up, be CEOs, and they can get LASIK. That's my hot take as an auntie at this point in time.
I've heard that before. It says you're not ugly, you're just poor. You see people glow up and
they will.
They can afford whatever.
Exactly. So you never know. That's my hot take. Yeah. But okay, so dating has changed a lot in the last 5 years. We all know that. Some for the better, some not so much.
Yeah.
What do you find is maybe one of the most significant changes?
Well, I think people are becoming more and more picky. They feel like they have to have higher standards, or they've almost become too picky, I think, because seems like there's a plethora of options available for you when you go on these apps and you see all these people and they're like, oh, so I can just, find a better person.
Keep swiping.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they don't want to settle, but they're really never finding a relationship because they're constantly looking for the next best thing. And I think that's gotten worse since COVID, especially because people are at home and they're using the apps more than ever, and they weren't meeting people naturally in real life.
I agree. Oh my goodness, I so agree with that. I think that, everyone's looking for the next best thing instead of appreciating what's right in front of you.
Right. You know how they say if the grass looks greener on the other side, it's time to water your own lawn. And that grass is probably full of manure.
Preach! Full of manure.
Yeah.
All right.
Or another word.
Right. We'll say manure for the morning show.
Know
Yeah. What are the dating resolutions you think people should maybe make, or some tips to bring them to fruition for 2026?
Yeah, I tell people to get outside of your type. And I don't mean like dating, blondes instead of always brunettes or something like that. I mean, just if you are really focused on, I'm only going to date people in the city, I won't date anyone from the suburbs. You never know. Your person might live in Naperville. So be open-minded to dating someone that's outside of your type.
Gas up the car.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then also, meet people in real life. Do things. If you are into fitness and health, maybe join a gym, or maybe join a different gym, or maybe your faith is important to you. Join a church and join those groups and just get out and meet people in real life, because so many people think they have to find somebody on these apps, and it's not that simple. To find a real relationship, the #1 way is still through someone else. So ask your friends and
word of
family.
mouth.
Yeah, get out there.
That can sometimes get the family member in trouble, though.
See,
if it doesn't work.
Okay,
You're
so
like,
that's what I
"You
was going to
told
say
me."
next. Yeah, so I always tell people, don't hold them responsible. It's not their fault if it doesn't work out. They're just doing the introduction, so give them a break. Be appreciative, because they're doing something for you by making that introduction, and they're trying to help. So don't, it's not up to them. It's not their fault.
The wingman gets a reprieve. Thank you so much. Loved having you in. We'll have to do a part 2 or 3 or however many we need to get through 2026. We appreciate it. All right, it's 9:45, everybody. Jake standing by, running in. So we'll get to you after the break.
Malman Law has more lawyers.
we heard tale of a party.
This world already left you for dead. I can save you from your fate.
You don't need no saving.
Yes, you do.
And you are?
I am your way out. Don't cry. It's all better now.
Ooh, I didn't think that I would even watch it, and I did and love it. History was made this morning with the Oscar nominations. Jake joins us now to break it all down, and you know we're talking about the movie you were just watching.
Yeah,
on your
you know,
screen.
people define success in a lot of different ways. For me, guys, it's getting Anita to watch and love a horror movie.
Scary movie.
That's a win, baby.
It's rare.
That's a win.
Rare air.
Yeah, so some pretty massive Oscar history this morning. So here's what I'll say. Whenever I cover the Oscars, rather than just go through the list, I always like to sort of take a step back and go, what are the stories that came out of? What are the headlines that came out of this year's nominations? And that could be records or snubs or just the history that was made. And history does not get bigger than 16 nominations. Ryan Coogler's vampire thriller Sinners has become the most nominated movie in Oscar history. 16 nominations, an all-time record. It breaks a previous record of 14 held by All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. Now that includes nominations for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Michael B. Jordan, a pair of supporting actor nominations, and a ton of what they call below-the-line technical nominations. Now many people do expect one battle after another to take home Best Picture, but Sinners looks like it might be making a surge. It would be the first horror film to win Best Picture since The Silence of the Lambs. Now, one of the best surprises, I think, of the morning comes courtesy of Sinners. That man right there in the middle, legendary actor Delroy Lindo, finally got his very first well-deserved acting nomination for his performance in Sinners. Delroy was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. And while he has been a well-respected and beloved actor for decades now, it took him a while to get some acting love. This wasn't a nomination that was expected by the precursors, but I think a lot of us are very happy to see it happen. Here's a pretty shocking headline I did not expect. The sequel, Wicked for Good, completely shut out of all nominations. After the first film landed 10, including Best Picture, this sequel, which was admittedly liked a lot less than the first movie, ended up getting 0 nominations. Now, people did not expect it to get 10, but they at least thought it might have landed makeup or costumes or production design, maybe even Ariana Grande. But apparently, the Academy thought the film was Wicked not so good. You like that? You get it? You get it?
Very good for you.
I worked really hard on that.
Not so good for them.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, here's a name I didn't expect to hear listed off of this morning. Brad Pitt. The racing thriller F1 was actually nominated for Best Picture, and since Pitt is a producer on the film, that means he is nominated this year. Okay. It's not the first time it's happened, though. Brad Pitt actually won his first Oscar, not as an actor, but as a producer, when 12 Years a Slave won Best Picture. What was that, like 10, 15 years ago? Yeah. So it does happen. Actually, Michael Douglas won his first for
One Flew
Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Exactly
I
right.
liked F1.
Yeah, I liked F1 too.
How about Robert Redford for directing Ordinary People?
Exactly right. It happens. It happens. One person making his own history this morning, actor Timothée Chalamet, with his movie Marty Supreme landing Best Picture nomination. Anita's shaking her head. Chalamet joins a pretty elite group of actors who have starred in 8 different Best Picture nominees. Wow. He now joins the likes of Gregory Peck, Harrison Ford, Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep, and Elizabeth Taylor as actors who have started 8 different Best Picture nominees. He's 30 years old.
Knows how to pick them.
Yes, he does. And since he was also nominated for Best Actor, get this, guys, Chalamet becomes the youngest actor to land 3 lead actor nominations since Marlon Brando.
Wow.
Those are some pretty decent names to have your team up against. So those are sort of the big headlines out of this year's nominations. Let me know how you feel about them. Follow me on Instagram at Jake's Takes. The Oscars will be held on Sunday, March 15th, which, let's be honest, is a ways away.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing about, you know, when something is surging or doing well in the Oscars, it's a marathon. Right. It's not a sprint, and you gotta remain just because you're someone's favorite in December doesn't mean you're gonna be their favorite when they vote in February. And here's a little stat that I will tell you really quick. I know we gotta go. At the Golden Globes, the last 2 movies that won director, picture, and screenplay, like one battle after another did, both went on to lose Best Picture. So I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there.
So you're saying Sinners has a chance.
Sinners has a big chance.
We're back after this.
The decision to
Caitlin, have you heard of this show, Heated Rivalry?
I know about it now. Have you heard about it?
It is one of those shows that is kind of reaching a point in pop culture where, like, I am going to have to make my no TV exception because I don't watch like a lot of TV and watch it. It is, I guess it's casually known as kind of like the gay hockey show right now.
Yeah.
Okay. It is actually inspiring a local sports group to, let's just say, get involved in hockey.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
Where they otherwise wouldn't. So we're going to talk about that local story. It's kind of interesting.
And Hollywood, this is really juicy. Taylor Swift, Blake Lively. I guess Blake tried to be Taylor's friend again. We didn't hear this side of the story, but we're talking to Michael Babcock of TMZ to get the juicy.
Baldoni, the very latest on that goss. And much more coming up on Chicago Now.
At Postman Law, we built a